Welcome to the CEO Tech Talks podcast, where vision meets impact. I am your host, Ambreen Ahmed. Each episode, I sit down with exceptional leaders who are shaping the future of business, technology, and transformation. This show is about more than just success. It's about clarity, purpose, and those bold decisions that light the way forward. Join me as we uncover the insights, challenges, and breakthroughs from today's most inspiring voices. Leaders who are redefining what it means to lead in a rapidly changing world. This is CEO Tech Talks. Let's dive in. Today, we're exploring what it really means to stay ahead in a world of constant change. My guest, Kenny Joseph, is the CEO of Step Ahead Solutions, a Silicon Valley-based firm helping enterprises modernize through cloud, AI, and cybersecurity innovation. Welcome, Kenny Joseph. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Ambreen, and I'm glad we are out here on this call and looking forward to talking to you on this podcast.
Well, let's get into it. Tell us about yourself and what role you play at Step Ahead Solutions.
Yeah, Step Ahead is a cybersecurity firm. We are based out in San Jose, California, and we started as a technology implementation firm for Oracle and Google technologies, and then we kind of migrated into cybersecurity. And we are one of the premier companies that got initially trained into the CMMC space, which was kind of started about 6 or 7 years ago as an answer to the increased threats that are happening nationwide. And it appears that we have been losing around close to $600 billion annually in intellectual property thefts. So, in order to combat that, the Department of Defense came out with this program. And right now, it's just being passed as a law. And it's imperative that anybody in the defense industrial base, they've got to be certified and compliant on this platform. So it's a very interesting and exciting space to be in. And that's what we do. We train organizations and we help them with their readiness on CMMC. So it's all about the change agent. And right now we are kind of, you know, state where a lot of things are happening. A lot of challenges are being out there, and this is one of the ways in which we can circumnavigate the obstacles that we encounter. And this is a sure path towards this brand new greenfield market that's opening up right now.
Okay. So your company name says it all, Step Ahead Solutions. What does staying a step ahead mean to you personally?
Personally, ever since I started this company, I wanted, though we are a small business, I believe in staying ahead of the game by trying to be innovative, creative, and ability to think outside of the box. And that's exactly what I present in my solutions and in my capabilities as well. So we always think ahead. And when this CMMC came into being, I thought for far into the future, because this is just not a compliance framework that one tries to implement. It's a lot beyond that. It's about changing one's attitude. It's a change culture agent that's being introduced right now. Uh, until this time, everybody, every large firm, whether you're in the defense industrial base or you're in the commercial sector, you are only focused on protecting your assets, your systems, but not very much on the information as such. So this is CMC is all about transitioning from looking at the assets to the information flow from the point where the information first comes in and navigates through your network and where it finally resides. So how we protect the information is what CMMC is about. So it's a very different approach towards how we look at things. So it kind of fits in with with my company name as well. We got to be ahead of the curve. We got to be ahead of the challenges that are constantly coming across to us.
Thank you for explaining that. What does a typical day look like for you as CEO?
We have to be forward thinking and being ahead of the curve. The CMC itself is a new capability and a framework that's getting deployed. That's going to be observed as a major rule that everybody has to adhere to. Just to give you a snippet of what it is right now, As of today, it's a new financial year for the government. They have about $700 billion. Department of Defense is spending on defense acquisition, and this $700 billion, people cannot get it. They were all able to get it last year because they were doing billions and millions of business with the government. Right now, they're putting a stop and they're saying, look, you want to have access to the 700 billion, whether you're on existing projects or a new project, first get CMC certified. Without that, you're not even communicating to us. So as of now, this 336 companies are certified in CMC level 2. There are over 300,000 companies in the different, and 80,000 of them have active contracts as of today in the defense industrial sector. Okay. So those 1,000, yeah, their projects are going to freeze on November 10th. They cannot go forward. November 10th. Yeah, it's a law. It's coming up like an avalanche. They cannot have access or even continue their existing projects if they do not get certified. So there are about 83 C3PAOs. Only these 83 companies can do a third party assessment for a organization seeking CMC certification. So 83 companies, how many they can do the certification? It's not possible. It's impossible, right? It's not something that you do it like a sprint on a 6 weeks effort, get it done, go along. It's not like that. CMC is more about change culture. It takes around 12 to 18 months for a company to get fully embracing the CMC and using it as a solution. It takes 18 months. They have to implement the technology. They got to change their culture. They got to adopt it. They got to show proof that they are following it. They have to show technological evidences that they are actually doing exactly what they are saying. It's not an easy thing. So government is saying, we allow you to do some certifications. We allow you to do things on your own, but make sure you have the right people helping you do that. Whenever we have a doubt and we come and do an audit on you and we find that you're not really practicing it, there will be a false claims act. Okay, they'll charge you. So you're going to literally lose your business if they do that. So that being the state, now what is CMMC? It is nothing new. It was already existing before. It's a set of regulations that was in place before. It called as NIST 800-171. Now, adopting that framework and deploying it as a CMC is all about how you institutionalize those practices.
Kenny, would you mind just so that our audience knows, what does CMMC stand for?
It stands for Cybersecurity Maturity Management Certification. It is modeled capability maturity management solution that was actually started by Carnegie Mellon University. So Carnegie Mellon University, Johns Hopkins University, and federally funded research centers, they've all joined together and put together this framework. And this framework has maturity levels from basic, advanced to expert. And at each level, they expect you to be compliant with the set of security controls. They look at security in terms of controls. You just cannot say, hey, I'm secured. Okay, if you're secured, have you implemented the access control? If you have implemented the access control, how have you implemented? Show me proof. That is what CMC is all about. So, in essence, it's a very dry subject for somebody to really understand and do it. It's a set of regulations. So, I have to think outside the box to make it very attractive. And we are the only company in the world to come out with totally innovative approach towards how people can adopt this technology, this framework. We are the only ones to come out with mind mapping CMMC. What we have taken is we have taken each and every security control, converted them into a mind map image. The mind mapping is all about how you think laterally. So we converted the entire dry control into a very attractive, visually inspiring mind mapping pictures, exhibits. And then we have using what we have done, we also embedded those mind mapping image along with conversational piece between two assessors, how they will take this control and deploy it for a customer, what challenges they would face, how they would resolve issues. So from a very practical standpoint, about 15 to 20 minutes on each control, how on the practical side of how they will deploy it. This has not been done by anybody. We are the only ones to do it, and we have just released it. Is one way of people can learn how to deploy these controls. The other one is we have a short 5 to 7 minute demystifying videos where we give the entire content in 5 to 7 minutes, exactly going through what they need to do, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, like series of steps with images and visuals so that it's visually engaging and inspiring. So these they can even look at their cell phone or a mobile device and look at it any point in time before they go to an assessment or they are trying to do an assessment. So this is a very different approach that we have used in our solution. And then along with it, we have built our LMS with, I'm constantly thinking about what new ways in which people can learn and quickly adopt this. So we have introduced study guides, briefing doc, flashcards, and then we have built situations, simulations, simulators, and so on in multiple different ways in which people can learn this very instantly without getting bored. So that is what I try to do something very different. My day begins, there are a lot of calls that I attend to every day. We are doing readiness assessments for several customers. That is one thing that we do. You see, the other innovative thing that we have done is I foresaw at the very onset of the CMC capability and that was going to happen a need for an enclave. Because that was one of the things that the DoD had emphasized. The one way we can help companies adopt this technology is having an enclave where that enclave is compliant with all the security controls so they can go there and quickly get certified. So I thought ahead in time and we built a very elegant enclave using AWS resources and Google resources. And now it is available in AWS Marketplace. So people can take this enclave, subscribe it, move their assets and their people. It has everything in it. It has the emails, it has the productivity suite, it has firewalls, it has all the technology requirements, and it also has all the documentation that is required for CMC, right? From system security plan to policies, procedures, and incident response plans and everything. And all the tools that are required for you to run and generate the results are also embedded. It's a fully comprehensive solution that people can engage. So, on an average, for an organization, DoD says it is about 100 to 150K to do a level 2 assessment. Yeah, it's a pretty expensive proposition, right, for any small business to deal with 100 to 150K. But for a mid-size to large, it can go up from 500 to even $1 million
For
to
that
get
same
it.
assessment.
Yeah, for the same assessment because you have to look at all of their assets, wide assets that they have. Every single one of them needs to be secure. It's not easy, so it's a very expensive thing. When you look at that, trying to do it on your own with your own infrastructure and with your own solution, and looking at an enclave where you can subscribe and get into it, enclave is a much viable option. So we are selling our enclaves from 40,000 to 60,000 based on the number of people who need access. We have starting at 5 user access, and then we keep increasing it correspondingly. And another important aspect of that enclave is it's fully customizable because we believe every customer is unique and special. So we have the ability to integrate with their custom applications and technologies. So that's a totally different way of doing things. So that's another thing that we help customers do that to get ready for an assessment. So that's the space we are in, training people and helping them be ready for an assessment.
You must be very busy if you're also part of this niche where only 83 companies can do what needs to be done, and there are 80,000 people that need to get certified before November 10th.
Yeah.
That I mean, is there any grace period for them after November 10th? Because you
No,
said
the
that it's a
thing is,
12 to 18-month cycle, right?
yeah, the thing is they'll not be certified. Practically speaking, nobody can get done. Okay, they'll not
Okay.
be, their projects will be on hold. So what they've got to do is they've got to get other people. There are about 1,500, CCPs and CCAs out there who can get engaged with these companies and help them get ready for an assessment. Like there are a lot of firms that are offering enclaves, they're offering so many different things. So they can try to get ready for all that, holding their certification, and then what they can do is once they have certain set of documentations and so on, they can go to a reporting system that the DoD has, and there they can personally they can enter the scoring in that system. It's called SPRS. So without the certification, you can go enter your scores, and you can go ahead and do all this work ahead of time, and then they can bid on the projects. And if they get the projects, then they can say we are already ready with the assessment. Now you get us an assessor to do a third party assessment. If these assessors are already full, then DCMA, Department of Defense, will allocate somebody to go do an assessment for them. So we are getting companies ready so that if there is because the need is already there, they can very quickly go and get it. So they have given a timeline right now. They have just started this rule. 28, everybody should be online by 2028, 3 years. So they cannot postpone after that. Nothing will be looked at. Until now, they'll kind of open up. They'll leverage. There's a lot of leverage customers, vendors have to make sure they are ready. Apart from that, the another interesting fact that I have is the government is also trying to do tax rebates on small businesses that they can write off about 50,000 of their cost for CMC certification. They can write off on their tax return. And the other thing is the agencies can also fund these companies that are already having big contracts. Tell them, okay, now try to get this. We'll help you with the cost. So that is another. So there's several different ways the government is helping small businesses to help themselves.
And so what other major shifts are you seeing in your industry right now?
See, one of the biggest thing that I'm seeing is, there are two things that are happening, right? One is we are seeing on the federal business, because of the cost cutting and restructuring, a lot of people are losing jobs, projects, and so on. So when there is a lot of displacement, CUC gives them a great opportunity to switch their what they've been doing currently. Okay, so if they have lost a job, if they have lost a project or whatever it is, now they have the ability to switch into something that is unique and different, and they can leverage all of their contacts and their presence in their defense space so far and launch a new business. They can launch a new training, they can launch a new consulting, so many different new businesses they can launch using their existing presence, but embracing CMMC. So CMC is opening up new opportunities for tech providers to create products and solutions. Because see, Google needs people with CMC because their products are being used vastly in the government. So we are specialized in Google, so we know exactly how Google Workspace needs to be configured for CMMC. So likewise, a lot of companies are doing Microsoft. They're using Microsoft and customizing Microsoft Office 365 for CMMC. They are embedding all the security controls required for CMMC. So it gives a whole new opportunity in the tech sector for people to build and configure products rapidly for this environment. Go to market can be very quick. People start from ground up. So new set of advisors can come up advising the senior management what moves they need to make in terms of CMMC. So it opens up a whole new opportunity for a lot of people. That's what I see. And AI is also playing a phenomenal role in this space. So as we are seeing a shift into the AI, now AI also needs to, even if you have the greatest AI product, If your product is not secure, then there's no point having anything running within your organization. So you need to secure that as well.
How do you
If,
secure the AI?
one of the ways in which you need to secure the AI is, uh, I believe the companies have to building their own language models. Now, these language models, if they are using sensitive data, if they're using data that the organization has built, they want to secure that data. How do you secure that data? That needs to be secured. The other thing is you need to also limit the ability of the AI to go out of its boundaries. See, there's an important thing that I kind of want to mention here. Security happens only when it is controlled. Only when there are borders around your environment, you're secure. Otherwise, you're not secure. If you have open borders, if you have open, everything is open, nothing is secure. Anybody can come in, anybody can influence anything. And you have the sense of freedom, but you're really not free. You're held by all the noise that's happening around you. So you don't have a real true sense of freedom. You first need to secure your perimeter. Then you're fully secure because somebody is watching the boundaries that nothing bad gets in. The same concept happens everywhere. Even in AI, the same thing needs to be. It needs to be regulated. If AI is not regulated, it's going to blow right up in your face because it's going to give you solutions and things that will be not really good. You need to know when to stop what you need to do with the AI. So that's the most important thing. And we have also incorporated AI into our solution as well. But again, as I said, we need to control it. We are controlling its ability to do things for organizations as well, to limit its scope so that you can use it safely within your domain.
So you are doing that with your AI models.
Yeah, yeah, hair models. See, one important thing is most of the defense companies, organizations, they have enormous amount of data. They're having a lot of regulations. They're reading a lot of legal laced information data that they have to handle. And now AI helps in trying to understand the legal complexities and present to you in a much easier way. So that is how we have built our language modules based on all the regulations that we have for CMMC and presenting it to the customers in a way that they can understand without losing the context.
So, what is working well in your business right now, and what's been frustrating?
See, what is, let me tell you what is working really well is when people get to know about what we are doing and understand the seriousness of the CMC and embracing it. We are getting a lot of people coming in for training and so on. But on the hindsight, we also have a whole lot of people who are still on the edge, not able to make their decision. They are still waiting on the regulations to the law to because they still people still think they can get away with the new rule. They say the rule will be there, but we can still do what we can do. Let the law come. Let's see what really happens. That's the kind of mindset many of the people are in. So that is and also the other thing that people are also trying to do is they are all fixated on the traditional model. They are not able to think different or outside the box. The traditional model is okay, I want to first see how I can get it cheapest, lowest cost, easier, free of cost. That kind of a mindset people have. They have to realize that nothing is free. Now, security is something very important for your organization. If you don't have it, you do not even exist. So you need to really understand, okay, if I'm going to do something for my security of my business or my firm of my business of my customers, I need to spend and I need to do something beyond what I'm currently doing. So our message to all the customers and the career seekers as well is CMMC is not an expense. It is
Mhm.
never an expense. It is an investment. It's an investment in your career, it's an investment in your business because that is going to increase the reputation of your organization. Once you are certified and you have that stamp within your organization saying you are CMC level 2 certified, the perception of your competitive space dramatically shifts, changes. because this is all done by DoD. It's not by any ordinary company. It's not something like an ISO. Somebody can go and do a certification for you in 6 weeks and give it to you. It's not like that. It's all done by Department of Defense. Highest security standards are implemented in that organization. Having that kind of a reputation can open doors without competition across both commercial and federal. So our message is, do not even think that if you're not dealing with government, you should not deal with CMC. Forget it. Deal with it even if you're dealing with the commercial entities. You need not go for the certification like the CMMC requires, but implement all the security controls for your organization. That itself will increase the reputation of your organization.
Okay. And for your organization, what metrics are you most focused on improving?
The thing is, our focus area is to increase the client base, the customer base. There are two areas that we are trying to make improvements on. One is we are getting the natural flow of career seekers who are trying to do the training, because they all of them are looking at the CMC ecosystem, and there are only a few people who can do the training. So we are getting these people coming for a training without much of a effort, because they got to know the training. Only a few people are out there, so they are coming to us. So that is slowly happening. But what we would ideally like to see is an adoption of the enclave and readiness assessment, which we are making it as a repeatable process. So trying to get people to adopt to that is becoming a challenge because it's something new. They don't really want, because the enclave, everything that they are doing for their legacy business is also contained there. So they're saying, why do we need to reinvest again in productivity so when we already have one? Can't we use the same thing? But they don't understand, if we use that, we have to reuse your IDs and your access. We don't want to do that. We want to separate it out. As I said earlier, it's a culture shift that needs to happen, and we are working along that area. And that is why we keep releasing videos almost every week. 2 or 3 videos we release to the people, just for them to get to understand what it is and how they need to be adaptive to the new changes that are happening across.
Where are you releasing these videos?
We are doing it in YouTube. We are releasing in YouTube. We are presenting it in the we are and whenever we release, we also try to make note in the LinkedIn. In all of the different sectors, we are releasing these videos, and these videos are all just very short, 5 to 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 3 minutes, giving them brief nuggets about what it is, why it is important, why you need to take a different approach towards all these, what makes sense. We are also know we just released one set on our training. Next one we're going to be releasing about Google Workspace for government. What people need to do to deploy Google Workspace for government. Just buying that product doesn't sufficient. That does not mean that you're compliant, because if you look at it, Google says 42 security controls has to be done by the customer, 47 by the vendor, like that. They are responsible for certain number of controls, certain number of controls customer is responsible for, and certain number of security controls the vendors are responsible for, and all of these needs to be configured, otherwise you cannot make it happen. So we are trying to educate the people on all the subtle nuances so that they understand. And we believe this is a journey that we need to take with each and everybody, and that is what we, and I spend a lot of my time with my students as well, who ask. One of the biggest value that we deliver in our training is the one-on-one sessions most of them have with me. So we kind of explain and walk them through the entire process, and there's no limitation for how long they can reach out and have these conversations right through the. Even on Saturdays and Sundays, we are engaged with people, talking to them, and we're also getting calls from outside the country, from South Korea, from India, from United Arab Emirates, from Jordan, from Switzerland, all over, teaching. And but the thing is that all of them are trying to know what this whole thing is about. They are not really getting into the training or anything. They just want to know what's happening and how we need to. But we are open to discussing it with everybody interested in it. We have actually partnered with the companies like TD Synnex, one of the largest distributors. So they are planning to deliver the enclave through their distribution channel. So we are working with them on that. So the thing is, all of these they are one of the largest distributor. They have tens and thousands of customers who are reselling to the government. And these people all are even the resellers who are selling products to the government need to be certified in CMMC because they cannot even communicate through an email. That is why it is so important that everybody takes a note of this. So we are working with the distributors themselves so that they can make it as part of their offering for all of their people in their supply chain so that they get engaged with it.
So, where do you want to see Step Ahead Solutions be 6 to 12 months from now?
We want to be one of the premier providers of CMC solutions, both in terms of readiness assessments and training, because we are one of the most innovative training providers today. We have self-study and e-learning, and we are constantly rebuilding our LMS platform. So we want to be recognized as somebody is very different and unique, and people can always take a look at it and see how very different the whole thing is. And also the enclaves are also a very different spin on the enclaves. A lot of people are offering enclaves in different formats and methods. Ours is very simple to use, extremely simple to use, and once you start using it, you'll discover how very elegant it is. So and the practical side is what we are focused mostly on, user adoption and so on. So that is what we are seeing, and already we are making relationships with larger firms, so working together and partnering together. So we see ourselves soon after the regulation, I think beginning of next year, we are looking at a pretty rapid growth. Companies are coming, they have to, because the larger companies have to spend a whole lot to develop the competency and capability that we have done over the years. This does not happen overnight.
Wow, great. Kenny, thank you so much for all this important information that you've shared here on this podcast about CMMC, government guidelines, deadlines, the opportunity for all the companies out there who are with active contracts, and then what you provide at Step Ahead Solutions. So, thank you for sharing such important information.
So it's been really nice talking to you, and it is certainly a phenomenal opportunity for a lot of people. So it's a big career. It doesn't matter whether they have a whole background in all these. I never had any background in federal regulations. It was totally new to me, yet we were able to adopt. So, but the CMC itself is all about process optimization, institutionalization, and improvement. How you do it. It's a phenomenal space to be in.
Thank you, Kenny. For our listeners, if you're exploring ways to get the certification for CMMC, please visit stepaheadsolutions.com to learn more.
Thank you so much. Appreciate this time, and I hope it was useful for all. Thank you.
Thank you for joining CEO Tech Talks. I hope today's conversation sparked new insights and inspiration for your own leadership journey. Until next time, stay inspired, stay visionary, and keep leading with light. Brought to you by Neura AI Consulting.